So I set a goal that I wanted to memorize a juz al-Quran by the end of this month, inshallah, in preparation for Ramadan, while also being an extremely busy schedule with work, school, and all that. So let's see how it went. So inshallah, the plan to hit this goal is I'm probably going to review the stuff I memorized in the morning before I have class, and then also before I go to sleep. And then I'm going to try to do the memorizing if I can actually, like, while at work, because right now they're not really giving me anything to do at work. So if I don't have anything to do, I'll probably do that. But if I do have stuff to do, I'll probably do it like either like right when I get home. I'll try to knock out maybe like an hour of memorizing, maybe a little bit more, inshallah, if I can. And then at night, like I said, before I go to sleep, I'm gonna try to do the review. And then hopefully also, and there's like pockets of time throughout the day where you just have a little bit of downtime, whether you're like waiting, I don't know, you got to work early, you got to school early, and you're just chilling in the car or whatever. I'm gonna also try to review then, because the more you get into this memorizing, you realize like the reviewing is actually sometimes more important than the actual memorizing itself. So I don't want to slack off with that while I try to hit this goal. But anyway, hopefully it works. Let's see how it works out, inshallah, and let's get to it. I'm out here at school now, as you see, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. The past few days have been really bad in terms of memorizing. Like, I wasn't able to do any memorizing at work because I actually like had stuff to do. I was kind of busy, and then I had like mad assignments for school and stuff. And then on top of that, like when you come home at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. after you're done like driving and you did all that, like I don't even have energy to do like anything. I'm not even gonna lie. I literally just like lay down and just be chilling. So I need to find a solution to that, because I know this is gonna be like a recurring thing where, if you're busy and stuff, you need to find alhamdulillah, I was still able to revise stuff, strength and memory and stuff from stuff I memorized previously. But like to memorize something new, you kind of do need like an hour of like uninterrupted time, because it's hard to memorize something where like you're thinking about this, you got to do this after, or like something's pulling you like 10 minutes, you can only do like 10 minutes, and then you have to go to work or you have to do this. It's like you're not going to have that actual time where it's actually seeping into your mind, kind of thing. So I need to definitely find a solution to that. Honestly, this has been the longest time where I haven't memorized anything new in a really long time. It's been like 3 days, and I literally memorized like maybe like one page very weekly too. Like 3 days, and it's been like one page, which I mean, everyone has their own like pace or whatever, but that's definitely not the pace I'm trying to be at right now. And it kind of sucks when you still have you actually have the desire to memorize, but it's just weird. Like you can't I don't know how to explain it. It's just not fitting into like your time period. And though this isn't to say that you can't memorize, because you can still for sure memorize while you're busy. I'm just trying to think of a way. I'm trying to think of a way I could kind of like get around this. Like today, the good thing about today is that I have a different job I'm doing. It's like a delivery job, which means I'll probably be done with it pretty quick, so I'll probably get home earlier. So today, I think inshallah I can do some more memorizing. So we're out here doing job number 2. I think I can finish this pretty quick though, and then after that, inshallah, I'm gonna go home and start memorizing. So I actually stopped back at my college because I had to grab some stuff, and I ended up memorizing a little bit there. And things like Taltil and a lot of these new apps just make it really helpful to like always revise or memorize just while you're on the go. And I'd recommend you get some of those apps. So it's like week 2 right now in terms of trying to memorize this juz, and I think I gotta really start taking advantage of the weekends, because it's pretty hard to memorize like a page with really like with strength while you have a lot of other stuff going on in the weekdays. Like you can definitely do it, but I think the weekends I gotta use to really strengthen what I'm memorizing, so I don't just immediately forget, because that hits you with a pretty bad feeling, and it kind of discourages you as well from like wanting to keep going. So I think that's the solution.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.
So just another update. Right now I'm probably like in the middle, I think, of the juz I'm trying to memorize. And it's crazy, like right when you think you're about to have some free time, right when you think you're gonna have some time to start knocking out a page a day or something like that, or make like consistent progress in memorization, it's just like stuff randomly gets busy and stuff. Like on top of like working and school and stuff, we just got a huge midterm now I gotta study for. So yeah, it's just subhanAllah, the world's crazy. You think right at the moment you think everything's about to be cool, just boom, stuff out of nowhere will pop up. But alhamdulillah, even with all this stuff, you can still make some progress in your memorization. So it's just a reminder that you're never too busy to memorize. You never can't do it, right? You can always do it, even if it's just a small little amount. You can still make progress, and over the course of weeks, months, you can make much more progress than you think. You might be like, wait, I can only do half a page right now, maybe even less, right? But the thing is that in like a month and a few months adds up to a lot, like a big chunk.
تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا.
So I've been so like focused on trying to memorize the juz while also being in a pretty hectic schedule. I'm not gonna lie. It's like I decided to do this like right when things started kind of going crazy. So with that happening, it kind of made me slack on revising stuff that I memorized quite a bit ago. So I definitely need to make some time for that. And right now I'm actually driving back from school. So honestly, whenever you can make any time, literally just even driving, just reciting, it's like actually better than nothing. At least you're trying to retain something, right? Everything kind of counts. And inshallah, maybe tonight before I go to sleep, I'm probably going to try to memorize, because I actually haven't even memorized today yet. Today was a really long day. But before I go to sleep, I think I can maybe do like half a page. So I'll try to do that. Inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين كفروا وصدوا عن سبيل الله أضل أعمالهم والذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وآمنوا بما نزل على محمد وهو الحق من ربهم كفر عنهم سيئاتهم وأصلح بالهم ذلك بأن الذين كفروا اتبعوا الباطل وأن الذين آمنوا اتبعوا الحق من ربهم كذلك يضرب الله للناس أمثالهم إذا لقيتم الذين كفروا فضرب الرقاب حتى إذا أثخنتموهم فشدوا الوثاق فإما منا بعد وإما فداء حتى تضع الحرب أوزارها ذلك لو يشاء الله لانتصر منهم ولكن ليبلو بعضكم ببعض الذين قتلوا في سبيل الله فلن يضل أعمالهم سيهديهم ويصلح بالهم.
So this is like one of the last updates, but I'm approaching the end of the juz. I think I have like a few more pages left, but it's also like the end of February right now. Basically, Ramadan's literally Saturday. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a bad one. Like I've done this before a little bit where I memorized maybe a juz or something while at work while being really busy. But I'm not gonna lie, the second I started recording this, the whole like world came crashing down on me, right? There was so many things that popped up, so many things just like in my personal life that kind of just made things like very, very difficult. But alhamdulillah, that goes to show that even with all this stuff that you could still for sure do it. You could still memorize. You definitely still memorize the juz. Like the everyday person could definitely memorize the juz even while they're in their routine, within like a month's time or maybe even less. And if you just do the calculations on that, after you memorize like a certain amount of juz, you're not going to stop. Like you're going to keep going, especially when you see that you can actually complete your hifz. So when you think about it, it's like what I'm trying to say is that if you can kind of get yourself into this routine where even while you're busy or something, you're memorizing, you'll get to a point where you have like maybe a few juz under your belt, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Like there's no way I'm gonna stop now. You can't make it this far and then just give up on this journey. And subhanAllah, it goes to show that the Quran says, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. We've made the Quran easy to remember, so who's gonna do the remembering? And another thing, even though this was like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a very stressful month. And like I said, I actually didn't even finish the juz yet. I still have like a few pages. But even though this was honestly one of like the toughest months I've had in a minute. I'm still like kind of proud of myself that I was still able to do this. And it had me thinking like, not a lot of people can. It makes you like a very like disciplined person to be able to do this. Not a lot of people can do that. And then when you get to that point, it makes you like kind of gets you thinking like, not a lot of things will be able to like phase you. A lot of the everyday stuff people complain about. If you're able to like memorize while you're in this like super hectic routine, and you're still able to memorize and still like have these goals to memorize, you're just making your own mind like a way more stronger, inshallah. And it's gonna serve you in other areas of your life. But yeah, technically I'm not done. I do have to finish this juz, but alhamdulillah, it's been good progress so far. And like I said, and I think in the beginning, there's nothing really else. What else do you want to do in your free time? Like you get way more satisfaction from this than any kind of video game, any kind of Netflix movie or show that will ever give you. It might hit in the short term, but at the end of the month or at the end of the year or something, when you're looking back at how much Quran you were able to memorize, how much like it changed your personality and stuff, man, it's way better than any kind of video game or any kind of quick quick hit of pleasure. But yeah, I'm about to go to work, and then inshallah there, and maybe even at home tonight, I'm going to try to memorize and revise a little bit, because I do want to finish this juz, inshallah, pretty soon. So yeah, we're in the last stretch. Man. Let's get to it.
بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم.
So let's get it. Alhamdulillah, we can say I'm basically almost done with this juz. I literally have just like a few pages left, and Ramadan's about to start, so I want to just stop the recording part of it. But inshallah, I should be able to complete it soon. But just like end of this kind of challenge reflections is that, you know, once you make the Quran really a habit, like something that you kind of need, the same way you need like water and stuff, that like if you don't, there was like even some days on this like kind of challenge where I was like so busy, I would have to go to school in the morning. I'd like get up like mad early in the morning and go to school, then go to work right after, and I wouldn't get home until like night. And if anyone does that consistently, you realize you have like no energy sometimes. So I remember there was some days maybe I would like barely read or barely memorize. Some days I wouldn't at all, and I would just go to sleep. And I felt so weird. It felt like so like it almost felt like you went to sleep hungry or something. Like you didn't like, I don't know, almost like you're malnourished or something. It actually feels like that once you start doing it consistently. And another thing I realized during this month is like when things get really down, like I'm talking about, there was a lot of things that happened this month where it wasn't just like work or school or like being busy. There's a lot of other stuff that happened. Or man, if it wasn't for the Quran, dude, I don't know what I would be tripping, man. Like that's like a lifeline. Like it really saves a lot of people from just doing bad stuff, getting in bad moods, getting like bad mindsets. Once you actually like live with Quran, man, it's like a huge blessing. So inshallah, I'm gonna try to keep this habit up. Even though one juz a month isn't like the best pace, it's definitely better than doing nothing. That's for sure. So inshallah, I'm gonna try to keep it up, and especially going to Ramadan. There's really if you're watching this and you're like, man, hopefully this motivated you to like get locked in with memorizing and stuff. Because when you look back on your life, I can't say there's anything specifically you did where you could say like I'm proud of, right? There's only a very small handful of things, and I think this is one of the things where, you know, when you get older, when you're looking back on your life, you're like, man, I'm really glad that maybe you were in your 20s, your teens, or your 30s, that at that point, alhamdulillah, you were able to complete the Quran, and you laid like layer one of the foundation. You memorized the first your first hifz, and inshallah, I really hope I can stay consistent and reach that point. But yeah, it definitely does take work. You can't be in that routine just like everyone else is. You know, you might go to school, go to work, and then you just come home and you're just done. No, sometimes you do have to forcefully, you know, especially in the beginning, you have to forcefully tell yourself, no, I got to memorize for this 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, something, or just revise or whatever for however long. But then over time, things become much easier. It just becomes a habit. And also, I'm really grateful for online sheikh that I have, because there was times where throughout the week where I was not gonna lie, I wasn't very optimistic about the memorization stuff. Like I said, there was some days where I didn't even memorize because of how just the stuff going on. But I would always get these texts from my sheikh, especially towards the weekend, where he'd be like inviting me to join the Zoom so we can do muraja and stuff and revise. And when you have that thought, like, man, even though I don't really want to memorize right now, I have to have this by the end of the week so I can present it to the sheikh or whatever. And that definitely is responsible for alhamdulillah, a lot of the stuff I've memorized. So in order to kind of replicate that, we have our own community now where it's meant to do the same thing, kind of an accountability thing where, inshallah, not only will you be corrected on some of the Quran you memorize, because you do need to have a teacher, but also it's also good in the sense that it keeps you accountable. That like you always think, oh man, I gotta finish this by this week. I can't just when you're on your own time, you'll just delay everything, right? But when you have an actual deadline you need to make, it's already proven people will usually make those deadlines. Yeah, if you want to join that, inshallah, you'll find the link somewhere on the page, or you join the Discord, or just join whatever. Inshallah, this all was made, inshallah, to be of benefit, because like I said, I think there's a lot of people who can memorize huge portions of the Quran and they don't even know it, right? Because this was one of me when I was younger. I was like, nah, to memorize you have to be like a genius. You have to be like straight up you have to be like bred to do this. You have to be from like a village in like the middle of nowhere, and your whole life you're doing this. But no, there's a lot of people that I've met so far who've completed their hifz just no different than maybe me and you. They just developed the habit. They had this accountability and stuff, and just over a long enough time horizon, inshallah, you can definitely do it. So yeah, inshallah I don't fall off. Inshallah you don't fall off. And yeah, assalamu alaikum.